In this video, we're going to look at literal equations and formulas. Literal equations are equations that have two or more variables. So they're going to have more than one letter. So some examples that you might recognize. Y equals mx plus b is a literal equation. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 different variables. Y equals 3x plus 5. This is still a literal equation because it has two variables. But something like 10 is equal to 2x plus 3. This is not a literal equation because it only has one variable. So we solve literal equations by solving for one variable. You will still have variables in your answer. So the reason that we do this is because sometimes you have a formula or something like that that you need to solve for a different variable to be able to use it. So let's take a look at an example. So on the left, this is just a regular equation because there's only one variable. On the right is a literal equation because there are two variables. So you know how to solve the equation on the left. It's just a two-step equation. We're solving for y. So I'm going to start by subtracting 10 to both sides. And we have 5y is equal to 70. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 5. And we have y is equal to 14. So now we're going to look on the right side and kind of follow those same steps. So if I want to get the 5y by itself, then I need to move 10x to the other side. So I'm not just subtracting 10, but I'm going to subtract 10x. And then I'm going to write over there, not underneath the 80. The reason I don't want to write it underneath the 80 is because they're not like terms. I can't combine them. So 10x minus 10x is going to cancel out. We're going to bring down our 5y is equal to, so over here, you're just going to have to write both of them. You cannot combine them. They're not like terms. They have to stay separate. So then, same step as over here. We're going to divide by 5, but you have to divide everything by 5. So that's going to cancel out. We're going to have y is equal to 80 divided by 5 is 16. Minus comes down. 10 divided by 5 is 2. And then that x has to come down also. So this is what your final answer would look for when you solve for x in that equation. So let's look at another example. Over on the left, just a regular equation. There's only one variable. This side is a literal equation because there are two variables. So on the left-hand side, first thing I'm going to do is add 4 to both sides. That's going to cancel off, and you're left with not just 2y, but negative. That sign needs to come down. Negative 2y is equal to 84. So then you have to divide both sides by negative 2. And you have y is equal to negative 42. Now over here on the right, I'm not just going to add 4, but I want to add 4x because I want to move that whole term to the other side. That's going to make that cancel out. So then negative 2y is coming down, once again making sure that that negative sign comes down, is equal to, now remember, these are not like terms, so you need to have both of them written. And then we're going to divide by negative 2 and to everything, making sure we bring that negative sign with it. So that's going to cancel out, and we're going to have y is equal to negative 40 minus 2x. And that's what your final answer would be. 80 divided by negative 2 gives us the negative 40. 4 divided by negative 2 gives us negative 2x. So I want you to take a minute and try these 3 problems on your own. Pause the video as you're working on them. And then when you're ready, you can restart the video and I will have the answers up here for you. So when you're done these problems, this is what your answers should look like for each of them. So check your work and make sure that that's what you ended with. So let's take a look at another example problem. A lot of time I think that the fractions can scare you guys. So I like to rewrite problems like this, where this part right here is going to go onto the top of the fraction. So it would look like that. So if we want to get the top of the fraction alone, then I need to undo dividing by 2. So to do that, it would multiply by 2. That would cancel out, and then I have to do it to both sides. So I would have 20 is equal to 4h. So to get h by itself, I would have to divide by 4. So h would equal 5. So that's just a regular equation, only the one variable. So let's look at that same idea, but with more than one variable. So over here, I have a is equal to b times h divided by 2. Once again, I just move this part up to the top. So I want to get rid of the divide by 2 or undo it. So we're going to do the same step that we did before to multiply both sides by 2. That's going to cancel out. I'm going to do it over here. So you get 2a is equal to b times h. So this is being multiplied, and that's being multiplied. So if we're trying to get h by itself, we need to get rid of the b. So it's being multiplied by b. We're going to divide by b to both sides. That's going to undo it and cancel it out. So you're left with 2a over b is equal to h as your final answer for that. So I want you to take a few minutes and try these 2 problems on your own. Pause the video as you're doing them, and then when you're ready to check your answers, unpause it and you can see your answers on here. So this is what your answers should have looked like for these 2 problems. If you have any questions about anything, please let me know.